Welcome back everybody to Tony's Top Tips Workshop. It's been a while since I posted a video, and it's not due to the fact that I haven't had the enthusiasm or anything like that, so all my subscribers, just bear with me. We've had one or two issues health wise and at home. We've been getting that out of the way first, and all been well, touch wood. Rather this, touch wood. We're on the road to recovery, so but this is just, it's not a particularly big video, I always say that, but anyway, and what it is I'll just get you. Someone not one of my subscribers off through the internet, actually they do a lot of artwork and what have you, and they do drawings and what have you, but they asked me if I could engrave or do drawings on the artist canvas, you know, the white ones that you get, and you get them in a lot of the art shops and that, where you it's already come formatted with the paint or whatever the coating is on the canvas, and it's got a wooden frame backing, and you just paint on them. And I said, well, I will have a go. So and yes, you can, but you've got to be extremely careful getting your settings right on this. Now what I'm going to show you is, I'm going to show you the first one I did. Right, now this is a small one that I've done. Okay, that's just the canvas, and that's the wooden frame. It's stapled at the back. Alright, now as you can see, I've done quite a lot of testing and that. There's no way you have to have the same material to actually test on. Now you probably can't see that that's the front and that is the back, so you can see that in places, if you see me running my finger over, it's actually cut through. Now I tried various power settings and this and other, so, and I got it down to this one. This is a little project I'm doing for my wife for Christmas. She's retired from being a nurse, so I thought it's all fitting well to do a little memento of it. Now that's one I did. You can see that, all of you. Now, although it came out alright and it's just slightly marked the back, it's not actually come through. But I didn't. It wasn't dark enough in order to highlight some of the drawing parts in the actual pattern. So what I did was, that is the third one, and if I hold them both up, you can see a remarkable difference. I'll do you a close-up of it. Right, that's the one I'm happy with, and that's the one I'm still happy with, but it's not as highlighted are the lines. Right, now the difference is that what I've tried, now what the lady that asked me to see if I could do this wanted was, she wants me to be able to put the line drawings on to the canvas. There's some bigger than that, some 12x12 ones as well that she's asked me to do, and she gives me the patterns that I want and I put them on. Now what she does then is she actually paints all these in different colours, glittering, whatever she does, and the do look, then she frames them, the do look really good. But it saves her a lot of time in actually drawing what she wants. So that's what how it's come about. Now the difference is why I've got that lighter and that's darker, right? That is because that setting there, okay, is just the canvas and the laser. There's nothing on that. Alright, as I say, you've got to be extremely careful not to cut through. Okay, but what the difference is with this one, why it's highlighted darker and it's come out a lot better, and it's done on the same settings, which is 1300 millimeters per minute, and it's done at 50% power. They're both the same. The difference with this one is it's coated in borax, which is, you can buy it, the powder, it's reasonably cheap, and sometimes I use it on some of my engravings or on timber if I'm doing it, because it gives you a real good black contrast. And what I do is I mix a tablespoonful in some warm water, let it dissolve, and then what I did was I brushed it and soaked it on. It takes a bit of, you've got to get plenty on and rub it plenty, and I did it with a very, very fine brush and wiped it all over until it had a very good coverage, and then just left it to dry. Now once that's dry, the borax highlights goes darker, so it looks 100% better than that. So as I say, and this is, you know, if somebody likes a bit of craft work, it's a good idea is to put this on your canvas first, and then you can colour the letters in, you can do that, the artwork, whatever colours you want, and you can actually go beyond the boundary lines of the graphic if you want. It doesn't have to, although it might show through, but depending on what paint you're using, I mean, I'm not an artist, so I don't know. I know the ones that she does are very, very good. She does a lot of animals as well. So but what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I've got set up on Lightburn. So we'll go to the PC and then we'll take it from there. Right, here we are at PC. Now I'm in Lightburn, and as you can see I've got my the pattern that I'm actually going to engrave. Now because it's all black, this is line, and as you can, I'll show you what it's all grouped together. This is one for my daughter because she works in A&E, so and if you look, that's what it looks like, and I'll play it for you. And that's how it's doing. It's picking out the areas of where it does it first and then goes back, and that's it. Now if, okay, I'll click on that one. Now if I were to, and you can see at the settings up there, it's 1300 millimeters per minute at 50% power. Now if I were to change that to fill, okay, and they're all closed vectors on here, so it will engrave, then you will see a different pattern. You see? So I'll play that now, and as you can see there, it's actually filling in the areas that like engraving. Those would be depending on your power. If you were doing it on timber, it would actually, or whatever, some of the other materials you can use, it would actually leave it, it would actually take some of the material away. Now obviously you can't do this on the canvas. I tried it on engraving, and it does show with the borax solution on, it does show okay, but that's no good if you're going to put your own colours to the graphics. You need the lines there so that you can infill in between, and this is, as you see, it's it's going from right to left, and it'll just do that and engrave it. Or rastering as they call it. I click out of that because it's, so that's if you have it on fill, so you would see that, okay. But I didn't want that, so I'll change that back now to line, and then when you go up to look at you see it there. That's your finished one, okay. It's relatively quick, doesn't take long to do it. It takes a bit longer if you're doing the engraving, because obviously you're running across the whole graphic, whereas when you're actually, and I'm no expert on Lightburn, but I can use it to my benefit, but if you're actually doing the line part, it's picking its own, it'll pick where it needs to go and then jump to another part, so it's quicker, whereas when you're rastering and engraving, it's going from side to side, so it goes across a lot of area that it isn't actually doing anything, and depending on your line spacing or the engraving spacing, then it can be even longer. But anyway, that's by the way. It's I'm just showing you what the actual settings are. Now they're all grouped together, so that's 1300 millimeters per minute and 50% power. So all I would do then is go over to, and I'm using the LC40. It's brilliant little machine is this. Well, it does virtually the same area as my Xtool D1, but it's a brilliant little engraver, and it's accurate, and that's what I like. And it's very light. It's lighter than the Xtool D1. If I want to carry it about or go upstairs, I can use it upstairs. But anyway, so well, what we'll do is I'll get one set up in the machine, and then we'll watch it doing the line engraving. Right, here we are at the laser machine. Now I've got my, I'll just show it centering it. I'll just frame it. You can see the little dot inside for framing. Okay, now that is framed exactly where I want it, but one thing you must remember in the LC40, or even in my Xtool, when you're actually focusing and setting it for the focus, that's what you use on the LC40, piece of solid machined aluminium, and you pop that underneath there and you lower it down. One thing you must be careful on is when you're actually doing that, is that you don't push too hard, because look what happens, you see it flexes, so do it very, very carefully. You don't want that to move the focus, because if you push down on it, once you actually, because if you notice on the sides here, on the, in fact I'll get you one that it's been done. If you look at that, it's slightly risen on the corners, just how it's folded. So you've got to be extremely careful that when you actually put this in, that you don't press down on that, because then your laser is focused further down. So when you take that out, your canvas will come up, so you're actually nearer to that beam. But when you come over here, there's a good chance you could touch. Okay, if you've got it pried, so make sure that you do it very, very carefully on that. Xtool D1 has a probe that drops down, you fling it down and then touch it. It's the same, be careful that you get it right. If anything, be slightly, fractionally off. You don't want it to be pressing down, okay? And then all it simply is there is then to run the program. Here we are now, ready to start the engraving, the line engraving. You can see I've got my trusty magnetic held extractor, which turns around. It's very good. It's drawing air now across there, and it's out, expelling it out of the door. So we'll go now and we'll start the engraving. As I say, it doesn't take too long for this job to be completed. It gives an extremely good effect, and if you know, I can understand why the lady asked, because she spends apparently she traces hers on how she does it. I don't know. I mean, I didn't want to go into her skills, but as you can see, it's putting the lines in for her. Now, she did ask if she sent me some animal drawing sketches to see what they come out. I don't know. I mean, it's like anything else with this, it's trial and error. And what works one time might not work next time. It's the same with certain plywoods. You'll realise that when you try to cut, you think, why isn't that cut down that side? And a lot of the time it's the adhesive build-up is different in the layers of the plywood, so when it gets round to one side it'll cut because it's thinner is the adhesive, but when you get more adhesive it takes longer to penetrate. There was a gentleman I noticed last night that was asking on one of the forums as regards when he cuts his plywood and he paints it or whatever he's, you know, if it's porous on the edges, what do people do to actually you know, stop the paint from being absorbed? And the simple way to do it, and what I do it with all mine, is once with a damp cloth I wipe off all the residue, because you get like a brown residue on, is to actually wipe that off the edges, and then I use a bit of cellulose sanding sealer, just rub it on the edges. You can put it on with a sponge or a brush, and give it a couple of coats of that, and between each coat you give it a lightly flat down, and then when you put your paint on it doesn't absorb, and that's what I do. But as you can see, it's relatively quick. I'm not going to put you on a time lapse, it's not that long. As you can see in the software there, it's not far off. It's about just under 50% done. And I would never have even thought of doing this on canvas, but you can understand the scope behind it if you've got the patience and the skills to actually, when the line drawings, is to actually infill in between those. You know, you can add glitter, you can add things to it, and you can get with some extremely good effects. I've got the air assist running, and I've got the extracting here. I can hardly smell anything in there. It's extracting all outside the door. I mean, that's something that I've shown in previous videos of 3D printed, and I can lock it off to where I want. Once you know where the frame is, so you don't touch any of the rails, the X or the Y, then so it doesn't knock it out of sync. It's brilliant. The honeycomb. I say it obviously different when I'm cutting, because it will tend to draw the fume from underneath the honeycomb. But it's an absolute, and they're still selling this unit. I'm hoping I don't get any people asking now for the LC40 out of flash the firmware. I get a lot of people commenting, thanks very much for your video, Tony. I've done it straight away. I'm on Lightburn, so I'm really grateful for that. You know, it has helped people, but it's for the cost what this machine is. I think with discount and what have you, I think it's under £400 for this, a 10 watt, as accurate as this is, with limit stops. I think it's good value for money. It's 88% now, so it isn't taking that long, and I'll show you what I do then on the back side. What this lady's asked me to do, it's finished. What this lady's asked me to do is nothing really. I don't show any of that. This is just simply something I'm doing for Christmas, and I thought it's a good way of trying it out. So I've already done some for the lady. So and that's it, completed. So that's the other one that I'm doing. But this is the first one. The second one that I've done, this has got borax on, the other one didn't. So, and the difference, you can see the dark marks underneath, so you just coming through. And I learned that when I'd done that I reduced the power by 5%, so it's 55% on the new one. So, but what I will do on the back of that is with I don't know whether I'm going to use card at the moment or just normal A4 paper. I shall cover that in a solution called Mod Pod, which I use quite a lot of, and I'll show you that. This is what I use. It's Mod Pod. It looks like PVA really, but it and I get it from the hobby craft stores. Now it's not expensive, and I dilute it down with a bit of water, and then what I'm going to do is I shall brush it on the back of that, and then I shall lay a piece of paper or card, I don't know which I'll do first, and I'll put it on the back, and that will reinforce that backing. You'll never see it, and it dries clear, and then that'll give it some strength, because obviously the thickness and that, if you can see, I don't know whether you can see that, you can just see a little bit of light shimmering through. That's because you come very close to the surface, the back surface, so you're nearly through. So but it is stable enough to paint on and what have you. So that's what I'll do. That'll reinforce it, and then she can she's quite happy with it. It's working fine for her. So but that's my little project, so I hope other people try it and see what they think. Right, and here we are. This is my little finished project for my wife for her retirement. But as you can see, you know, when you look at the detail, and the secret is you can do this with any picture that you want to transfer onto the paint canvas. Now what I did, because I practiced on a one that I'd done first, just let me pick this up, and this has had a backing put on, as you can see. That's just A4 sheet of paper cut out for the back, and I've brushed on the undiluted Mod Pod, as it's called. It's like a white PVA. Placed the paper on the back, and then dried that, and then I gave it, watered down some of the Mod Pod, and then I brushed it on the face of the engraved canvas before I painted it. Let that dry, and it gives you, if you can see, it gives you a bit of a luster, and then that makes it easier when you paint, because it sealed the canvas although there is a sealing of some sort on it when you buy the canvas, but I've just enhanced that, that's all. I'm on with another one now, and what I've done is, with the Mod Pod you can actually get a Mod Pod. It's in a smaller container, and it's actually got glitter in it, and I use it normally on the Christmas Eve boxes, but I thought what I'll do is I'll seal it with that, and a watered down mixture of that on the face, and what that's done is left it glittery, so then when I paint in the detail, and I'm using acrylic paint pens for this, and when I do that, then it leaves a glitter around everything. It just gives it another contrast really. But there you go, that's the finished item. And as you can see there some of the little balls on the circles on the glittering, because I've actually filled those in with the Mod Pod glitter. It gives it just a bit of a extra contrast. So right, we're back where I am now. So that's a little project. Please, if you feel like trying it, I'll give you the rough settings. Depending on the canvas that you use, you might have to increase the power at some stage. I mean, I got 4 of those that side, and I think it cost me about £5, if that, for 4. And I think I picked them up at Lidl. They were selling some artist gear, obviously coming up for Christmas, so I got that and tried it. So canvases you'll get, if you decide to have a go at doing it, it might be a slightly different thickness, but as I say, I coated mine in borax, let it dry, just put it near a radiator, it dried, and it does tension up because you've wet it. It's like the tissue paper on a model aeroplane. When you used to cover it in dope, it tensions afterwards, so you know it comes a little bit tight and it pulls it up, so you get a better focusing as well. But try it out, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear if you've tried it and what you think of it, and at the end of the day, it is just some crafty sort of so anybody can, you display that as it is. It's very nice, but you can enhance it by colouring it in, or painting it, or putting glitter in, whatever you want to do, however you want to fancy it up. Okay, that's my video for today. My videos will be a little bit spaced out at the moment, because I'm that busy at the moment. I'm selling a lot of the machinery in the workshop, so I can clear some space for what I really want to do now, machines that I don't use anymore. So you'll have to just bear with me, please, subscribers. Like and subscribe, it helps me. I know, and I will answer, I always say it, I answer everybody's comments, and it's normally straight away, so if I can help you, I will help you. And as I always say, like and subscribe, and until next time, be careful, be safe, have a wonderful Christmas and a happy new year, and take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.